Dr. Noah here, back again with episode 3 of Leadership in Play, where we're exploring the social space of leadership. In the first episode, we talked about relational leadership and how we took the emphasis off of the individual leader and looked at the process of organizing when it comes to leadership. In the second episode, we looked at the terms that I needed to be able to code this type of productive leadership dialogue successfully. We talked about situational elements, and we also talked about terms that are associated with context. One of the things I had to do in this research process was I had to figure out how to use these 8 situational elements. I had to figure out how were we going to observe a group of people in a particular setting, and how are we going to observe them in this space when it comes to them managing their time, or even their money, or the cost of decision making that they, as it played out in this social space. Another thing I had to look for was how is this thing called culture coming together in the talk produced by these individuals making these decisions. I also wanted to look at things like silence, like who was falling silent? Was that productive or was that unproductive in the decision-making process that these individuals would be putting together in this dialogue that would be playing out in this social space? I also had to look at kind of the pattern of decision-making and what kind of history was that producing. And I also wanted to see how resourceful these individuals were being with whatever it is that they were managing. And so to really observe this complex social space of leadership playing out and to really try to capture this dialogue, I was faced with a couple of challenging decisions. I had to ask myself, was I going to go into an organization and try to observe these individuals making these decisions and look for these situational elements? Or was I going to just try to find another way to observe a process of organizing in the social space and seeing how is leadership playing out in that in those interactions? And so I decided to make a game. I thought games would be an easy way for us to be able to observe this in its purest form. So why games? I think games are really important for leadership development because you get a chance for people to kind of let their guard down a little bit. They're approaching an object of work where there is a definition of success, some type of successful outcome that they're trying to achieve, and they get to play with individuals whether they know them or not. And they get to kind of learn from one another, and they get to build a dialogue of decision making, especially if those games are cooperative games where individuals have to work together to achieve an outcome within a certain set of time frame or a certain set of decisions that they have to make. Kind of made this realization that, hey, you know what, why don't I just go with a game instead? I had already used games in my leadership development practice at that point at the company I was working with at the time, and so I just kind of thought, okay, well, why don't I just create an activity, or what kind of activity could I create to be able to make this happen? And so there was one individual that almost immediately came to mind. Sean Paul is an amazing human being. He is so talented. He is a game designer. He owns Mystery Suit Games, and it is an amazing company where he creates these cooperative games like Dead Apocalypse, which is a really fun game, and I highly recommend you pick up. Sean is just very good at balancing games and making games cooperative and fun for individuals, so that way they're learning something about themselves, but they're also learning something about each other. And so I've learned a lot about game design through Sean. And so with Sean, I decided, hey, let's create a game here that we could use for this research. So this game incorporates 6 individuals who are charged with reaching an end space within a particular set of time. So in this time it was 30 minutes. And so the idea behind this game is that it would be an in-person cooperative team play. I have to admit to you, like I was really nervous about this because we had to capture video of these individuals playing this activity. And so I had to reach out to a local university, go green, go white, and I was able to secure the resources needed to be able to, videotape this activity and use that video to be able to analyze the dialogue and how it played out. The pandemic was very unexpected for all of us. And because we couldn't get people together because we were social distancing, it created a major roadblock for my research at that time. What was I going to do to be able to capture this in-person activity if people couldn't get together in the social space because we were afraid of getting COVID and getting sick and afraid of dying? And so I was racking my brain trying to find some type of resource. And it was really hard to find, online solutions to be able to deal with this, especially because I was running at a knowledge gap. I just didn't know what kind of resources were at my disposal at that time. And then a funny thing kind of happened. I realized that instead of looking for a resource, I should have been looking for a different situational element. I should have been looking for a person instead. Andrew helped me tremendously throughout this process. He's an award-winning game designer. He worked with a team that put together a very popular game on the Nintendo Switch called Shiftlings. And he has an ability to be able to kind of cut through the physical game space and kind of look at different solutions that will be able to help me put this game online. And so Andrew recommended right out the gate that we should use Roll20. And Andrew was able to take this game and make a map and put it online, and then I had my chance. Then we were able to collect data and have participants, join this process online and to be able to capture and record this dialogue. And I have to admit, it actually made the process a lot easier. And I'm very grateful for Andrew's help with that. Well, this is easy at this point. Then all I had to do is take the video and code it. I use a process called Atlas TI to be able to make that happen. And it was really helpful to be able to code the dialogue by the minute. But we also wanted to map the situation as well. And so I used a technique called situational mapping, and I was able to effectively just plot all the situational elements and also use those contextual codes to be able to see the patterns of the dialogue. And that helped me kind of gather the themes that were needed to be able to situate this research into a more productive stance.